Hello and welcome back. Today's video is just a fun one. I wanted to go through some of my favourite hobbies with you guys and kind of a quick and easy starter guide for people that haven't done these hobbies before, that would like to have a try at them without investing. Like spending a load of money and time and effort to try a hobby and then not really using that stuff, because the problem with trying a new hobby is we don't always enjoy everything. So I've got 5 really fun hobbies here, and kind of a really simple basic kit that will get you started and that will give you everything you need to create your first project. So the first one I want to introduce you to today is loom knitting. I found this quite recently, probably at the beginning of this year now, and I've made a few projects and I love this, and I never ever thought I would love a knitting project, and it is very simple to get started. What you can buy is from Amazon a loom knit kit. So you can actually get your looms as a pack. You can get either one single loom for a very inexpensive price. Get yourself like a medium sized loom that's got kind of maybe 18 holes at least, pegs should I say, not holes, for your loom, because that would give you the size you need to be able to knit any scarf size. You can knit on the round in this, don't worry about that term, you will realise later what that means. So you don't necessarily have to buy the round looms as well if you have these. So I would go for the long thin loom first, as you can do hats and scarves, shawls, things like that you can do on here. As a beginner, the wider loom that you see here is easier. Obviously they do a tighter weave, which basically means that the pegs are just closer together, but that's probably something I would build up to. You really do. One of these for a few pounds on Amazon, a medium size loom. They tend to come with their loom needle for pushing over and just a little plastic needle for kind of sewing in your ends at the end, and you really don't need to have anything else to create your first couple of pieces. You will from there have to invest in some wool. Some yarn, should I say. There's a lot of cheap yarn out there. There's a lot of cheap places you can go on. I would just, get yourself something inexpensive but that you like the colour of to start with. This was kind of a really cheap buy from I think just a local shop a couple of towns over from me. I think I bought it from the boys, and it is just a chunky size 6, so it's quite a big size, so easy for beginner projects. You don't have to double it up if you don't want to, so that it's a little bit easier to knit with. Of course, it shows you what size if you're crocheting or knitting for these, but we're going to use a loom with it, so it really doesn't matter. You want something quite chunky on a bigger loom because you're going to get a thicker pattern, so it's not going to look kind of really sparse and holy. I paid £4 for this, and with one roll of this you should have enough. I think this one is 200 gram. This will give you enough to finish a scarf project. I always tend to buy a couple just so that I've got that batch. So if I want to make like a scarf, hat and gloves, hopefully a couple of big sizes and I'll have enough. So at this point you've probably invested maybe £15 to try loom knitting. At maximum. This was the second project I created. I got this is just one roll of yarn, and I got one of those that kind of it changes on the ball, so you get, without even changing your yarn or doing anything interesting or difficult, it does it all for you. So I've got this beautiful stripy scarf pattern. This is quite this is a softer cotton acrylic mix rather than the cheaper acrylic that you'll probably start off with. I wouldn't advise overbuying too much yarn to begin with. Just get your couple, obviously because you don't know if you're going to like it, but also, to be honest, because very quickly you'll want to use slightly nicer yarn once you kind of get the hang of what you're doing. So you may just like acrylic and work with acrylic the whole time, but you might quickly find that, you know, you like a very specific kind of yarn, so you don't want to be stuck with loads and loads of yarn that you've bought that you then kind of can't be bothered to make projects with. So that is my first fun hobby recommendation, loom knitting. If you've always wanted to try knitting but you're like me and absolutely suck at it, this is much easier, much simpler, and a nice beginner-friendly way to kind of dip your toe into yarn. Right, let's move these to one side and I will show you my second hobby recommendation. And that would be a very simple hobby that's very easy to get started. You can buy one kit and you're away, and that is, I'm sure most of you have seen by now, diamond painting. This is maybe a bigger project than you would start with, but there's lots of really cheap diamond paintings on Amazon that you could just buy for your first time. I wouldn't advise them as kind of the ones you get all the time, because they're not the best quality pictures, and they always tend to be very small diamond paintings. But all these are, they're a sticky canvas with numbers and symbols, and you get, oh, I'm chucking stuff on the floor again, a bag of coloured gems. You always start off with a very simple one little tray, some wax and a pen. And what you do with these is, for those that haven't seen this hobby before, because weirdly enough, you know, not everybody knows how to do everything automatically. You peel the top case off your wax, and this is a diamond painting pen, and it's a hollow pen, and you push the wax into the pen so that you have a sticky top, and it will pick up the little diamonds and place them onto your canvas. And it's a very relaxing kind of hobby. You need to take breaks because it plays hell on your back if you sit there for like 8 hours. It's not a good idea, but it's something you can just leave kind of open on a table and come back to. It's one of those beautiful things that you can immediately stop and just come back to it later. So if you tend to be quite a busy person, you don't want to have things hanging around all over the place, you know, it's just a ready-made little bundle and you're away. And they just look really pretty when they're done, kind of a shiny, diamanty canvas when you're finished. And it doesn't require any art skills or drawing skills, so anyone can do it. As long as you can translate, you know, your colours to your numbers, you really are done. They have a little key on the side so you know that the bag, your bag of gems, bag number 16 is this J icon in yellow, and you know where to put them. And yeah, and I kind of recommend, you know, fill your little tub and do loads of J's all over the place wherever you can find them, because when you start you're just going to have one little tray, so you can then put that back into a bag, seal it, and then pour out, say, the L's, and do as many L's as you can find them, because you don't want to be going back and forth all the time. And then maybe when you decide you really like the hobby, you can invest in some of these kit ups, which are little bottles that all your gems go into, so that you can work through a project, and maybe a little stack of trays so that you can have them all out and sat so you can play. But to start with, you really don't need anything more than the actual kit it comes with itself. So diamond painting, option number 2, something to try, and it really is as simple. You can buy some of these kits for as little as like £8-9 on Amazon, and you'll have hours and hours of fun, and it has everything in it that you will need. So that is diamond painting. Okay, we're going to do my obvious. We're going to do the obvious one, and that is colouring. Now, if you're on my channel, I understand that you're probably already well aware of this hobby, but just in case, we have adult colouring, and this is very simple to get started. I have 2 options of pencils and 2 options of books here, and it's up to you. If you prefer a firmer pencil or you're not even sure, these are 2 very cheap pencil versions that you can get from Amazon. You got the 120 brutfuner square pencils, which will give you more colours than you could possibly need, and you can use either those, or these are the Amazon Basics premium coloured pencils. This is a 72 set. They're both very inexpensive. You can pick either one of these up kind of at the £15-16 mark usually. These are softer, these are firmer, but either set will set you going and give you all you need to play with in the beginning. And then I've got 2 very readily available and inexpensive options for you here. You can get both of these on Amazon, and they're both quite different, but I've chosen these 2 books for a reason. They're not the cheapest books you can get, but they've got nice paper in, and both of these work well with both of these versions of pencils, so that you're going to have a proper go. You're not going to play on Amazon paper with a pencil that's not really compatible and hate it. It will give you the best chance of actually deciding whether you like this. So any Hannah Karlzon book, they're all quite fun. She has this kind of style, very stylised, fun, a lot of people and objects and flowers for you to start with, to play with, to see what you like. It's got nice paper, and they come in these beautiful hardback books, so they look nice on your shelf, but they're not expensive. These tend to range, you know, about £10 to £12, and you will get, you know, this one book, it's going to take you a long time to work your way through it. So you're going to get your money's worth from your box of pencils and your book. If you'd prefer something a little bit different to this, the other option is, of course, the Queen of Colouring, the one who started it all, Johanna Basford. This is her World of Flowers. I picked this one because it's my favourite. She has plenty out in lots of different things, but this, again, is just a really nice, easy, fun, very floral, so it's something nice to start with if that's the kind of thing that you want to play with. It's got big open spaces, so you could play with inks and things in the backgrounds when you work your way up to that. I've worked in this book quite a lot and had lots of fun and joy from it, and as you can see, it's got lots of pages left, so you would get plenty of time and joy from working in a book like this. So if this is more something you think you might fancy, they're just 2 fun options. This is more faces, this is more flowers, so it just depends on the kind of thing that you fancy colouring. But they've both got nice paper in that's not just going to immediately put you off. So a book and a pack of pencils, and you're away. That is the adult colouring option. Pop that off to one side as well. Okay, hobby number 4. Jewellery making. Now this is one of those hobbies that you can invest a lot of effort and time and money into, collecting a billion different things, but like any hobby, it's also one that can be very, very simple. For you to start out with, you can buy a pack. I've obviously all mine are in boxes now, but one of my first packs I got a box of stone chip beads in different colours. A little pack from Amazon, and it has lots of little stone chip colours in one little kit. They tend to cost about £13, something like that, and what you tend to get with them, do check, but you usually get stretch cord with them. If not, you will need some stretch cord. But beads, whatever beads you like, if you're not into stone chips, you could buy normal beads. There's plenty of different kinds of packs of normal beads available on there. Lava beads, coloured beads, black beads, white beads. you know, and then eventually adding in other different kind of shape and types of beads can come later, but just buy yourself a pack of beads in some of the colours that you fancy. And like I say, if it comes with the stretch cord, all you need at that point is to be able to thread beads onto a piece of string and to know how to tie a decent knot, and you will be able to make your first few pieces of jewellery without having to invest anything more than that initial kit, to really see how you feel about it. You know, that might lead into wire bending and metal clasps and chains and charms and dangles and everything like that. So be warned, but it is as simple as that to get started. Just one of the bead kits from Amazon. Check it comes with your stretch cord. They tend to. And you're away if you've been really wanting to try that kind of hobby and have a go for yourself. Hobby number 4. Okay, and then finally, and this one's not as easy on a budget. But again, it is doable. It's just, this is definitely a hobby that you will invest a little bit more to get started. And that is one of my favourite hobbies, and that is card making. Now, you can buy card making kits. Spellbinders do one. They do an entire card kit, and you get a bag, and it's got everything in it that you need to just be able to make 8 cards. You need nothing else. It's got cardstock, pattern paper, sticky double-sided adhesive, foam squares, embellishment pieces, sentiment strips. It's got everything so that you can build 8 cards without needing anything other than essentially a paper cutter would be nice, but you could do it with scissors. It is possible. So you can just buy a base card kit. If you would prefer to kind of nip to one of the little craft stores instead and purchase something like, you know, a pack of card and envelopes. I'm already chucking stuff on the floor there with me. Where did we go? I'm an ink down, people. Where did I throw you? Where's my dog run off with it? So organised. I've just got a dog staring at me like, what are you doing? What's happening? Let me see. Oh, it's in my stuff. I found it. Right, okay. All as organised as usual. I'm not even going to edit that out. So that's just life. You've got cards and bases. You can get nice, cheap, inexpensive packs. Here in the UK, the Works are brilliant for these. These are a really nice 380 GSM cardstock, so your cards really do hold up, and they're really inexpensive. A couple of stencils would be a good idea, in something you think you're going to use quite a lot, so that you can do something a little bit fun. With stencils maybe comes a couple of ink pads. These are rather an inexpensive version, the Dewdrop Mementos. Not gonna lie, you're probably going to need a set of sentiment stamps, something that can kind of do, try and when you're first buying, buy one that'll do a bit of everything. So like happy birthday with sympathy, I've got happy Father's and Mother's Day here, a thank you, thinking of you, get well, sorry you're leaving. This one is excellent. It's got a bit of all sorts. This one my friend got me, and this one's got thinking of you, get well soon, thank you, miss you, happy birthday, love you, congrats. So again, very, very good all round user sentiments. And then maybe have a little look on a craft site. Temu are brilliant for these, but that's a rabbit hole that you can fall right down into and buy a billion things. And buy a pearl diamante mix pack that's going to give you a bit of everything in the colour family that you like. That is what these are. So they've got little diamantes and pearls in a numerous little pack of colours. You can buy a bag of these for £1 something usually on Temu, and that would get you started in your colour family choice. You're probably going to need a little stamp block for your blocks, and that will give you a start base for really creating some fun items. So for me, obviously I did use a die cut for this part, but you could just use happy birthday as a stamp there. I used a little flower stencil, I cut some different cardstock, placed it onto my base and added some pearls. and that is a real nice easy card with stencils, another easy card with stencils and just stamps and building things up, a little bit of ink. Obviously you're going to want some coloured cardstock, or you could use white cardstock and just change it with your inks. A couple of blending brushes to go with those. You can see how it quickly kind of card making does roll very fast downhill. The other option, of course, is pattern papers. So this is literally just a piece of cardstock that came looking like this. I've popped it up onto my card base, added some little embellishments. This is a die cut, but you could stamp Merry Christmas on there just the same. And the couple of things I would advise, once you've had a bit of a go and you really do know you like it, you're going to want a guillotine. It really is the one thing that makes your cards look better, and a stamping platform. If you find that you use a lot of stamps, you don't have to buy the really expensive crafting stamp platforms that you see. This was a real cheap one I got on Amazon for a tenner, and this thing just works a dream. I've used this the last couple of years with no problem. It's the only one I own. I don't really feel the need to get another. A spring-loaded hinge is kind of key though. But apart from that, you know, like I said, I left this one to last because this is the one you do have to invest a couple more bits and pieces to really be able to get going. Or there's the very simple option of buying a Spellbinders card kit and just having a go from literally just that pack. But they also probably cost me about the same as this lot, so it's kind of swings around about. So it depends how you want to go about it. If you're already maybe a colorist or a scrapbooker or anything like that, you probably already have a lot of the things that you already need to make cards, and all you really need is to buy your card bases and you will be able to get going pretty quickly. I hope this video was a little bit fun. Just wanted to do a little bit of something different, more aimed at beginners and people that want to, or maybe a little bit bored, as we've all been feeling at this time of year, and fancy something different, something new, but want to try something without having to invest their life savings. Just want to try something nice and easy. As always, guys, any comments, questions, or anything you want to know, pop them in the comments, Insta me or email me. And I hope you have a wonderful crafty week, or in whatever hobby you're doing. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.